On February 2020, 4 children went out to buy an ice cream in Western Sydney and they never returned home. Antony, Angelina, Sienna and Veronique, all between the ages of 8 and 13, were killed when a drunk driver veered onto a footpath outside the Oatlands Gold Club. Danny and Leila Abdallah lost 3 of their children and their niece that day. Both have spoken openly about their journey of grief and forgiveness in the aftermath. And I'm happy to say now that Danny Abdallah, who's at Parliament House in Canberra for the National Prayer Breakfast, joins me live now. Danny, thanks so much for your time. I always love talking to you.
Thank you.
You've been there in Canberra this morning. What have you been talking about? Is your central message forgiveness?
Yes, thank you. So we were at the National Prayer Breakfast this morning and Leila and I shared our journey of forgiveness and what it's done for our family. You know, the hardship that we've been through and the heavy cross that we have to carry and how forgiveness got us through that valley of grief, and it's slowly getting us to a better place as a whole family.
And you've forgiven the man that killed your babies?
Yes, I have.
And what did he say when you told him that?
I went and visited him and we met and I could see the remorse. Although it's really heavy, but you got to understand that as a father and a husband, the main reason of my forgiveness as well is my faith, number one, but number two is to not have that toxicity in my house of revenge and bitterness and anger that could get passed down to my kids, because I've still got other kids I need to raise and make sure that they have the best environment at home.
What was the process of you reaching this point in your life? But also, you know, forgiveness is one thing, Danny, but you actually went to see this man in jail. How did that work?
Look, you know, I thought about it and I spoke to restorative justice at the time, but I looked at it this way. No one has impacted my life outside of my parents, my wife and my kids, and no one's changed my life more than this man. And I'm a confrontational kind of person and I wanted to see who he was and I wanted to tell him all about who my kids were. And for me, it gave me, not closure, but it helped me move along in my life through the journey that I'm in.
And before you went there, Danny, was the purpose for you to make this man understand what he'd done to your family, or did you want to tell him about those beautiful babies and what they were like before he took them?
Correct. I shared with them who my kids were and who they are in my life and the impact it had. And I wanted to, like I said, because the impact he's had on my life, I needed to confront this person.
And do you think that may have helped him? Not that that was your intention?
It helped me a lot. It helped my family a lot. And I don't know if it's helped him or not, but I know that he's in a place where he's had conviction and actually he's become a Catholic, practicing Catholic, and his faith he's changed his life in that sense.
And do you think that was your doing?
No, I think it was the man upstairs he's doing. I forgave without any intention of him changing like that as well. So it was just something that my wife and I chose to do for the greater good of our other kids.
Yeah. Does his remorse, Danny, help you in any way?
Did it help me in any way? Yes and no. You know, at the end of the day, there's no winners in this. And for me, I've always said justice is to serve the community. It doesn't serve the victims. What's the ultimate justice for me is to have my kids back, and that's not going to happen. So I don't want to focus on that, and I just want to focus on rebuilding my life and my family's life.
Danny, I can't imagine being as gracious as you are right now. I've got to be honest, I think if that happened to me, I would find it very difficult to get to where you are. With all that's going on in the world at the moment, you know, we talk about forgiveness and people can preach forgiveness, but I think to actually do it is so much harder. Is it a day-to-day proposition for you? Is it something that you continually have to work at?
It is a day-to-day thing. It's something, forgiveness is like, it's like a muscle, you need to keep building it. And for me, like my wife and I, our goal was to minimise the impact on our kids that are currently alive, the grief that we've experienced. And it's only through the road of forgiveness, which is the narrow road, that it can minimise their impact. And if you met my kids, it's like they're very socially healthy, they have a lot of friends, and it hasn't impacted them, versus if I was angry and bitter and revengeful at home, I think the environment would be different. And Leila and I have had another child, and she's pregnant with another one on the way. So
Is she?
it's, you know, yeah, so it's taught us about not giving up, and that life doesn't stop no matter what. So, and you know, I had every right to give up, and anyone saw us, they would say the same thing.
Yeah.
But we chose to take a different path, to not lose our whole family that day.
Oh, Danny, you're just such a roller coaster of emotions when I'm talking to you here. Leila is pregnant. How many weeks along is she, if I don't mind you asking?
She's 4 months pregnant. She's having a baby, I think it's due in April. So.
Do you know if it's a boy or a girl? Don't tell us. I'm asking all these intriguing questions.
No, we don't know. We don't know. It's a surprise. So it's, but look, at the end of the day, and you know what? Kids do what you do, not what you say. Our kids have seen us at our worst and seen how we've conducted ourselves, and I can hopefully leave something for them when they get older on, you know, what to do when things get really, really bad. Yeah.
Well, they're a lesson to all of us, Danny, not just your kids, I can tell you that much. It is a pleasure to talk to you. We don't do it enough. Sending all my love and our love to you and your family, and thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Danny Abdallah there, he is one of the best men you'll ever meet, and so much love for his family.